I'm the in-house illustrator at Vectornator, and today we're going to draw a few sketches that we've been working on from the design series that we created with like amazing team, production team at Vectornator. So here on the screen you see designs from each episode, and this is the second one, and this is the third one, and we're going to start with the first one. So basically in this design series you're gonna learn all the basic functions, all the elements that you need to know as a start as a beginner. And for this one, it's a very beginner friendly shapes. So we're gonna use only oval tool at first to create it. Let's start. I'm gonna choose this amazing yellow color, and let's just lock the sketch first because it's moving. And we're gonna just place it under the sketch so you can see what I'm drawing. This is basically PNG files that I imported. And if you place it underneath, it's just lines and you can easily see everything. So yeah, I'm just like making it fit perfectly. And then I'm drawing another one. Again, just like make it fit and place it under sketch. Copy it. Then what we're going to do, we're going to multi-select them all together and press this button here and unite them. Then you have like one shape, unified shape, which is shape of lemon in this case. And yeah, the first part basically is done. So this is our first, my first live session with you, and we had one more, and if you want to check that, it's on our YouTube channel. It was with amazing illustrator Sandra Staub, and I'm really a fan of her. And we will have more live sessions coming. Next one will be with the Jerome Fogel, if you know him. Yes, and let's continue drawing. So here you see basically on top, it's not a circle that we draw, like an oval we draw behind. It's a little bit different. So what's the difference? It's like half cut. And if you want a symmetrical cut, there are a few ways you can do that. So let's choose another color. And draw it. I actually want to create another layer so it's not automatically placing every shape that I'm drawing on top. Let's place it here, underneath, and place them here. Okay. So to align it, you can turn on snap to guide. Yeah, this one. Smart guides. You can turn on smart guides, or you can align them. You can select both, and then just go to this button here, and then just align them centrally, like this. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you one of the techniques that you can use to cut this in half. Let's choose another color because then it's more visible. Okay, so now we're gonna select both and we're gonna turn on this multi-select. And then I don't know if you're familiar with the Boolean operations, but they are basically amazing. You can use them as a unite, which I did at first, like with the first shape, I used unite. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna extract from one shape to another shape. So for that, we need the second one, subtract. And easy. it's gone. Half of it basically gone. And another way you can do it is basically with the scissor. It's also pretty functional tool. I know that many people they don't like to use it much because it can be a little bit intimidating and confusing, but it's actually pretty easy. So basically, we select the scissor tool, and then right away you see the notes, like they just appeared on the screen. And what I'm gonna do, I'm basically gonna select these two notes on the two sides of this oval. This one, and then this one. And now you can see with the selection tool that these two objects is already separated. And I can just easily delete one. So yeah, now we can move on to this little inside part of the lemon. And I'm gonna just go with the same color. So there's also like really easy way to create this. We can just draw a little triangle here. And then if you see this button here, corner radius. So we can just move it around, and then you can see that it's starting to look like the shape that I have it here. And then you can just with the selection tool, you can just move it around, just like this. And one more, basically. So I click on the node tool here, and on the sides you see all the nodes basically appeared. And when you double click on them, another shape appeared, which is kind of similar to the one before. But I kind of like this one a bit better. So I'm gonna go with this and turn it around. It's not exactly 45, but if you wanna snap to the certain degrees, like 45 or 90, you can just put one finger down and it's just gonna select. It's just gonna snap. So this is kind of close to 45, but it's a bit, yeah. It's a different. Oh no. Yeah, one more thing that you shouldn't do. Basically, if you don't want to distort the shape, you need to go with the one finger down. Otherwise, it will be distorted because I already rotated it. So yeah, you can see that it's fitting perfectly to sketch. And now we can go for another tool. So we have here this rotate and duplicate tool. So let me just zoom in a little bit. So with this tool, you need to select a center. It needs a center to turn around, basically. So because we're going to duplicate this shape and then create the other two next to it, we need it to somewhere like center in the middle shape. So I'm just putting it around here. And then I need to turn this button on, which is the duplicate. Otherwise, it's just gonna rotate and not duplicate at all. So yeah, let's do it. Yeah, this seems nice. And then I just wanna place it first. Let's do it again. And, oh, yeah, I didn't turn this on. Okay. Yeah. Now everything is as I planned before. Okay, so let's skip to the leaves. So basically you can use like natural colors, which is in this case for leaves will be green. But I kind of like this like contrast colors. Like for example, blue and yellow is really, they create this really nice contrast that I like. So that's why I went for blue. And yeah, so if you look at these leaf shapes, basically it looks like an oval, right? Like it's a little bit like, if it wasn't this sharp, like towards the end, it actually an oval. And it's also another trick you can use. Oh, sorry. Just create an oval, kind of close to this shape, and then go to node tool. So basically, once you're there, if you click twice on both sides, it becomes automatically a leaf. we have a question. If this video will be available on YouTube channel. Yes, basically it goes live automatically, so you can find this video right after in our channel, along the side with the Sandra's video, just in case you missed that part. And we have another question, where and what did I study? I study in Istanbul, my bachelor in Istanbul. I'm from there originally as well. And I studied product design actually. It was my first passion. And then I worked as a product designer, and I was a 3D modeler, so I was also creating 3D visuals for presentations. Then I decided I want to move to a different direction. Then I came to Berlin. Then I studied graphic design here and illustration. It was actually integrated design. That was the name of the master. So we had like classes from graphic design, illustration, animation even. And then I started working in Berlin, and I stayed here because I really liked it. It was, one of the reasons I came here, just because I was in Norwich city. It's such an amazing city. And basically, then I worked while I was studying, and then after I finished study, I worked as a UI designer, I worked as a graphic designer, and here I'm doing illustrations. So basically, like I tried different things to find my path, and I think like every time I try something new, it actually, like the knowledge that coming from the previous major was still with me. So it kind of gives you a wider perspective about the subject. So I'm actually happy that I did it this way. Yeah, I hope this answered the question. And let's continue. So yeah, the smart guide are very useful, but in this case, you can see that it's just a little bit, it keeps snapping to everything around it basically. So I'm just gonna turn off the smart guides. I will turn it on again when I need it. Yeah, so perfect. And we can actually duplicate this because it's a very similar shape and it's just bigger, this one. So I will go and just duplicate it. Turn it around a little bit like this. Turn off this, duplicate. And then just, yeah, make it fit. So basically, like to create something, to give a little bit of a dynamic to the illustration, I just wanted to make this one a bit darker than the first little one. It's just like such a small trick you can do, and it makes a big difference basically. Yeah, with that it's actually done. So let's just turn off the sketch and see what it looks like. It's super easy to create, super beginner friendly, and just go along and try. And yeah, it's also a good way to get used to app. And I'm kind of objective. I don't think I'm taking side here, because when I first used vectornator, it was basically like it was so intuitive and I just got it right away. So the UI is already explaining itself, but these little illustrations are a good way to practice basically. So just try it. And yeah, this all of the sketches, as I mentioned before, it's part of the course series that we've been working on. Me and with our amazing production team, we've been really working super hard on this course, and we released the intro today on the Academy website. We're gonna drop the link actually under the video. You can reach the website, and tomorrow the few more episodes will be released. So go on and check, and there will be more designs in the course. This is just like a small sneak peek of it basically. Okay, so let's move on to the second one. I'm gonna turn this off and turn on the second sketch. So this is basically partially inspired by my cat, because we had like so many situations like this, that she would just be on top of table and I would cut her last minute before she was actually smashing something on the floor. And she always had this face, always this kind of like, I'm cut and guilty, but also like, I don't care face. Yeah, so that's why she was a big inspiration for me always. Okay, so what do we have here? So it's more, this one is not as simple as the first one, but still it's not as hard as you would think. So here I would like to use pencil tool, and it's basically, it's a freehand tool. So it's really like a drawing on a pen on a paper. And here like you have this function that you can choose the smoothness. So if you want it to actually give a little bit of push to your hand and to have like a more smooth lines, you can just like put the smoothness higher. I will go for 80 for now. And let's see what happens. Okay, so I will use stroke on with this illustration and fill on, because I just want to have this like a little bit of a different style and have like outlines of the sketch. Let's see. So this is the color I chose for the cat, and the stroke color would be this one. Okay, let's just draw. Yeah, and don't forget to unlock the canvas so you can just like turn around. So the thing with the pencil tool, before I start drawing, so you draw something, let's say, and then something happened, and then you lift the pencil, right? It's very like, happens to me a lot, because it's also so super hard to keep drawing constantly. So let's say you lift the pencil and then you want to continue drawing, but then it looks like it's a completely separated shape now. And then you can basically keep drawing and then select both. Then we have this like amazing function here, join paths. And then it's like one shape. I think it's like one of my favorite functions, especially if I'm drawing with the pencil. So okay, let's try. So you can just like easily trace the whole sketch. That's one way. See, it's like it's happening right now. It's just on the side of the canvas and I couldn't get there, so I stopped. Now I'm gonna continue. Oh. Right now I'm just tracing the outlines, basically. We have to create this internal lines that you see, like the front paw and the back paw. They need to be created separately because, yeah, now I just want to have the color, like just feel the whole shape. Okay, so let's try. Oh, let's try. And join part. Okay, yeah, it's one amazing shape. So the thing with the pencil tool, sometimes you can see that like here it's not as perfect as you would wish. It happens because sometimes it just adds more notes and you just want to delete them, basically. There are some ways to do that. So basically when you yeah, before that, I actually want to answer some questions because, yeah. Okay, so the first question is, what vectornator tools do you use the most and the least? I mean, I'm kind of sliding between pen tool and pencil, but depends on the illustration completely. If it's like an illustration I need to use brush tool, then it's also, then that illustration becomes about, it's just like mainly I use brush tool. But apart from that, pen tool, I really like it because you have like a lot of control and you can just trace everything like exactly the same. It might take time to get used to it. Like you just need to learn how the nodes functions basically, like which kind of movements create what kind of nodes, what kind of flow. And apart from that, it's really easy. And there's only a few tricks that you just need to know. And I can actually show that after this one. How would you define your artistic style? That's another question. So I start drawing. Since I know myself, I was drawing. I started as a little kid, but the thing is, like I was drawing traditionally for a long time. And I think around like 2010, it's a long time ago, I switched to digital drawing, and then it became like I started experimenting with the different styles. But like with the traditional drawing, I love watercolor. I do a lot of watercolor because I just like this this unexpected result that it gives you. It just you're in control, but not fully in control. I like that side that just has a personality. Whatever medium you're using, it has a personality. And the same with the digital drawing. You can. I was drawing like at the university. I was obsessed with the Marvel characters. I was reading a lot of comic books, drawing a lot of characters, and they're perfect for drawing because they just like they have very like muscly bodies, and it's just fun to draw. And yeah, what else? And now I'm mostly into flat illustrations. I love this, that you can give so much depth to illustration just with the layers, and like without like even using shading or lightning. You just use different layers, and then it already gives you the same feeling, the depth feeling that you would get with the light and shadow studies. So yeah, I hope that answered the question. Yeah, so I was talking about how to get rid of these extra nodes that you're not happy with, basically. Let's just... Oh my God. Okay. Here. Yeah, so did you see what happened? I'm gonna repeat it again. So basically, my shape is selected, and then I wanna reduce the nodes. So what I'm doing, I'm clicking this button here, which has like a minus on top. It's very tiny, but you can see it. So I click once, you see less nodes. And I click again, it's also getting lower. But the thing is, like, the more you get rid of the nodes, the shape also getting distorted. So you're starting to have like more mechanic, more sharp corners. But Node tool is here for that. You can just use Node tool and look, it's just... So to do this, I basically put one finger down and created a disconnected node. I hope you're familiar with these terms. And if not, please ask any questions, I will explain. And yeah, this part is a bit pointy, so I'm just gonna click on it and delete all the nodes. And I just wanna have like a sharp corner on the both sides. Let's take our time and make it just perfect. Okay, so here, I'm gonna do the same, just very sharp corner. And like this. Okay. So the thing, like, I can go into the little bit of a node theory here. I feel like it's kind of time because we're playing with nodes a lot. Oh, I forgot to... Okay. The sketches, when they're not locked, they kind of cause problems. So just make sure that they're locked. Okay, so one problem that I see here, normally I would use the sketch on top because I want to see what's underneath. I don't want it to be covered. So what you can do, you can either, in this case, because I'm kind of tracing the outlines and the sketch itself has an outline. So what it does, it covers the the line that I'm drawing right now. So I don't want that. What can I do? I can lower the opacity so I see what's underneath. Or I can just put the sketch down, which I don't want because then it's gonna just cover everything. You can see. So basically, if I change the places and put this layer higher, now opacity is low, so you see it. But if opacity is high, then you don't see anything. Basically, I mean, it's not so bad. So I will just lower the opacity and then trace it. And then I will change it again. So yeah, we were here. Let's see. So this node is not really necessary because you already have this curve that is created by these two nodes. So the more nodes you have, the shape is getting less and less perfect. So it's better to create a shape, the minimum node possible, as minimum as possible. Oh, someone said it's such a cute cat. Thank you. Okay, so I'm getting rid of this one too. Let's see. You see, this 2 is more than enough for this little curve. And then this part is very, very sharp corner. So we need to disconnect this node. It has to be really like, oh. And yeah. Let's see if we can delete more nodes here. I'm hunting nodes right now. This one can go too. I don't want to go too far because then it kind of puts too much pressure on one node. But okay, let's just get rid of this too and see if it's enough. Okay, that's enough. I will need one here, this corner, because there's a slight curve there. Oh, yes. Why this is happening? Because multi-select is on. Okay. Yay. It worked. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, this is not necessary. This is also not really necessary. I will just use this one node here. This one can go too. Yeah, basically I added the stripes here because I think like whatever extra elements you can add that create this just so it's not flat, too flat anymore. Like these shapes, for example, all the stripes, it kind of helps with the shape of the cat's body because it's following the shape of the body. Like they're not just randomly curved. They're curved because they're following the cat's body's shape. So it's good to if you're not using any shadow or light, if you're not adding any of this, you need other elements that actually gives you the sense of the shape. So in this case, that's why I use the stripes because it's just perfect. Like same with the clothes, for example. If you have patterns on the clothes, it will show you like the shape of whatever is underneath. Okay. And it looks much more fun. We have another question. Do you have a cat that inspired this illustration? Do you draw cats a lot? Yes, exactly. So this illustration was inspired by my cat because maybe you missed that part. So basically, she would just do this a lot. Like she was such a feisty cat, and I loved her character. Just she's very cuddly and really has a good personality if she wants to. And sometimes she was just doing this a lot, and just I couldn't leave anything on the table. I always had to remove it, and just like I redecorated my place when I got my cat because it's a little bit like having a child. You have to redecorate everything based on them, just kind of predict what they're gonna do, what they're gonna break. And yeah, I started drawing cats I mean a while ago, because I don't know if you've been to Istanbul, but it's a cat city and you see cats everywhere. Like even at our university, we had cats in the classroom. Like they were just basically with us watching, and some of them were giving birth in the classroom. So it's just like I was exposed to cats all the time, and it's just impossible not to draw them. They're just so funny. Like they don't have to even do anything. Just looking at them is so entertaining. So I enjoy drawing cats as well, and yeah, that's all. Okay. Let's continue from here. We were around the tail. Oops. So I'm a little bit of perfectionist. I'm sorry if it's if it's taking too much time, but I just wanted to follow the sketch that I did. And with sketch, if you're wondering how I created it, basically I always sketch on a sketchbook. That's how I start. But it kind of like, it looks a bit messy. So then I basically imported to a pixel-based program. Then I just trace it and just simplify it, basically make it look more clean. So I have it, and then I can import it to vectornator. Because once you have the sketch, then it's actually, you have more control over what you're doing. I mean, you can of course change the sketch. You can add and draw new things that is not in the sketch. But it's a good direction basically to have it. So that's how I work. I mean, everybody has a different way of working. Okay, I will go a little bit faster. So let's see, what's this? Okay. So yeah, I will go a bit faster. If you need anything, if you didn't understand anything, just write in the chat and ask a question, and I'll answer, because I wanna get to the other details. So this part is gonna be behind the glass. That's why I will draw the glass on top of it, and I wanna sort of make it a little bit of behind the liquid, so it's obvious that it's behind it. And you can add like a transparent layer on the glass. You can make it a little bit lower the transparency, and then around the hand, around the front paw, it's gonna be a bit faded. So it's just little tricks. Okay. So here I see that it's not joined, and I want them to be one piece. Oh. Okay. Right. Okay, we're almost done. I forgot this part. This. Yeah. Great. Let's put it behind the sketch now, because I want to see properly. All right. So now I'm gonna increase the opacity so you can see the actual color. And I'm gonna go ahead and reduce the opacity of the sketch, because I think it will be more practical. Yeah, great. Okay. And also I want this to be in a different layer, because every time I draw a new shape, it's adding on top of the sketch, and it's just not practical. Okay, so let's go with the eyes, because it's super simple. So basically, you can just create this easily with the oval tool, just like this. And don't forget to put one finger down, because it needs to be a perfect circle. Oh. Okay. Like this. I just duplicated. You can again use the one finger down if it's aligned, if it's on the same line that you wanna duplicate. Let's try it. I think mine is a little bit higher, so it's actually not necessary. Oh. Yeah, it's a bit higher, so. But just a gesture that is good to know. Okay. And this part, I actually wanna have the stroke on, and the background, it will be white, kind of like a creamy color. Oh. Oh no, sorry. Okay, yeah, it was selected, so when you change the color, of course, it's gonna, get it again. All right. Let's try again. Stroke on. I want this to be below of the first layer that I drew. So I'm just gonna put it there. And the opacity is still low. And I'm wondering why. Okay. No, it's fine. Yes, great. Okay, so let's just duplicate this to the other side, and we have the eyes. And for the nose, if you remember from the previous example, you can just, it looks like a triangle, so you can just draw a triangle and then play with the corners of it, because these corners are sort of rounded. And I will go for a blue color and turn off the stroke. So let's just, sorry, it keeps moving. Okay. Yeah, like this. It's a bit. Just rotate it slightly and just place it somewhere in the middle. Then we're just gonna, so that didn't work. We'll try again. Okay, it didn't work for some reason, but I will try the other method. Double click. Oh. Okay. And when you move things around, don't forget to turn off the duplicate, because it just sometimes it keeps duplicating the shape and it can be a little bit annoying. Okay, for the mouth, I'm just gonna draw it with a stroke. Like easy, just like this. And I want the corners to be a bit more rounded. Now it's cut. So here, you can say round cap, and then it just turns it to rounded. Okay. So once we're here, we can just continue tracing the rest of it with the stroke on. And I want to do it with the pen tool right now. So you can see that too. So here, basically, because we're very close to the corner, I want it to be seamless. I want it to just arrive to the corner radius and then just join it. So I'll put this here and move this a little bit here. And the corner, again, it needs to be rounded. Yeah, better. Just gonna take a close look. Yeah, that's what I mean. Basically, you see the corner now, so it kind of looks like they're all coming from the same line and there is no break. it just looks better, but you don't have to do anything like that. This round cap too. Great. We're almost there. I'm doing the same thing here, so I'm just gonna move this towards the corner. You can make it kind of look like follow the same curve, but it doesn't look right. So I tend to move it slightly in a different direction, so it's slightly different curve. And the round cap again. So yeah, you can see that this goes up a little bit, and then here it goes down. All right. Let's move to this one. Yeah, you can draw it with the 2 curves, but it's just too much extension, so I'm just gonna go with 3. So what I'm doing here, basically, maybe you notice, as soon as there is a heel, or there is something opposite of heel, I couldn't remember the name, you can put a note there, or you can aim for that. Basically, on the 2 sides of the note, when you click on them, it actually shows where the note is going. It actually shows you the direction of it. So here you see that, like, the one side, it goes straight up, and the node is starting from there, and the curve is just following towards the next node's direction, basically. And you get used to it the more you use it. It just needs like a little bit of practice, but nothing to be scared of. Okay. I'm doing the same thing here. I'm just connecting these lines so they look seamless. So let's answer some questions. Someone asked what inspires me. I guess everything that surrounds me and part of my life a lot. I am inspired by nature a lot, and I love plants, and I'm a plant addict basically. I start like this addiction started get intense during a pandemic. I started collecting a lot of plants, and now I have many of them. So I like to, if I'm sketching and they're around me and it's so easy to reach, so I'm sketching a lot from plants. They inspire me a lot. Human body, I am also inspired by that. I go to this live drawing sessions that you have a model and you just sketch from the model, which is I really recommend it. It helped me a lot to. It's not only getting the shape, but also learning the light and the shadow. And the more you do it, it's actually really fun. It's almost like a meditation. You just basically turn off everything, and you don't think about anything. You just look at it and then draw. And it actually helps your brain, because it's a little bit like a muscle, helps your brain and your eye and your hand and everything start to get more in tune. Yeah, human body, nature, some animals, some of them, like cats. Yeah, I guess that answers the question. And the second question is, do you always use a glow to draw? I do, because I just don't want to have this. It kind of makes me nervous if I'm not drawing without a glow. If I'm drawing without glow, because sometimes your hand touches the screen and then it just activates something or turns the canvas. Something happens. So I just want to be safe and not think about that. If my hand is gonna move something. So that's why I'm using the glow. But also I know many people that are not using it. It's totally up to you. But if I'm not using the glow, let's say if I don't have it with me, then I just try to draw a bit like this, like my hand is lifted from the screen. Also a possible thing to do. Yeah. That's it. We're almost there. I know this took a little bit longer than the other one, but we have a lot of things to trace. Okay. We're almost done with this, and now we can draw the stripes. So for the stripes, you have to have fill on, because they are not just the outlines, as you can see. Okay. And I want to use pencil here. So did you see just what happened? Basically, the smoothness is really high, and when I'm gonna release the pencil, it's just gonna smooth whatever is drawn, which is pretty useful in this case. That's what I want exactly. Okay. You don't have to finish it, you don't have to go around, because the outlines is already covering it. So you can just do it like this and then just cover it. Like this one. And yeah, you can always edit it with Node tool. That's the beauty of vectors, basically. You can edit it endlessly. I want a little gap here because it's just too close to each other. And like this. Okay. And in this case, it doesn't have to be perfect because stripes are not perfect anyway. Just make sure that it's following the body shape, because that's the purpose of it here. I hope you can follow. I'm trying to really explain everything that I'm doing, but please feel free to ask any questions. I'm checking the questions. You can also ask personal questions. And yeah, as I mentioned before, these are the designs from the course that we're making. And I'm really happy that it's gonna be out there soon, tomorrow. The first 2 episodes gonna be out there. We've been working on it, and we really worked hard on it, and we have amazing team and amazing production team. Everybody's just totally hands-on. And yeah, we're just so happy that finally we can see the fruits of our efforts. Yeah, I feel like 87 is the perfect smoothness for these shapes. It smooths into exactly the sketches. I love it. Oh, are we done? Yeah. So we have this last part. So with this part, we can actually use pen tool again, because it's very... Oh, just connect. Because it's really sharp corners. I'm sorry. It's connecting. Okay, another trick here. You just disconnected. Yeah, if you click double. This is super easy, but the fill wasn't on, so I'm just gonna turn it on. Really easy, fast. And yes, now let's draw the little glass here. That's like 1 second before the accident. Not really an accident, but 1 second before the everything. Oh, I did something. Okay. Yeah, so fill off. Let's just trace it. Again, pen tool. No. Okay, I don't want this to be gone, even though it's underneath, but I just want it to be straight. So one thing you can do, you can actually, it's kind of the same shape inside and outside because it's a glass and this is just like a thickness of it. You can just copy it and scale it. Yeah. And inside I want it to be full, so it's more disastrous. Yes, now we're done, actually. Perfect. All right. So let's turn off the sketch and see what we have. Oh, there's a little cat here. Yeah, this exact situations happened as I mentioned before, and I saw her and it was a slow motion moment. I just ran to her, just like, no. And she just stared into my eyes and threw the glass on the floor. Okay, so we're done with this and I want to move to the third exercise, which is from another episode we prepared. Okay. Okay. Let's create another layer. And okay, with this one we can still use pencil tool. But before we start to this one, I will answer more questions. The first one, was it hard to switch from Procreate or pixels to vector? I wouldn't say it's hard. It's just different way of working. Same thing that you would feel like when you work with the gouache or with the pencil. It's just different way of working. But so you need to learn another tool, another way of working with that tool. That's all. I'm like everything new at first. Of course, it's difficult because you compare a lot, but because your brain is used to the other techniques, and you do a lot of. I was using a lot of the same shortcuts basically between programs at first, but once you get used to it, it's the same. It's just the first getting used to part is difficult, and then it's super easy. And the second question, between illustrations, UX, UI, and product design, what do you prefer more? Currently illustrations, because that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm also learning motion design. I love it. And it's very difficult. I think it's way more challenging than anything else I did, which I did 3D. And motion design is way more challenging because it's everything is backwards. I think that's the most challenging, but it's still, I I'm enjoying so much to see things in motion that just basically I use my illustrations and then I animate them, and it's just so much fun. But yeah, right now I'm mostly doing illustrations, and that's something that I always loved anyway, and that's why I went to that direction eventually. Um, yeah, yeah, I think I would say illustrations. Okay, so let's draw this. So it's very fluid, and I wanna use pencil too for that reason. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just trace the outlines. We're just gonna use a little bit different technique here, so you learn different way of. I'm gonna just trace the outlines, but I'm not interested in connecting them. I just want it to look a bit more sketchy. Sketch. I just wanted to give it a sketch look. And yeah, let's just trace it quickly. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look exactly the same. That's the whole purpose here, that I want to give it to a sketch-like feeling, basically. A little, maybe ink. Yeah, just for this, I want to use pencil tool because just it's too long. And yeah, a pen tool, sorry. But I'm not connecting any lines. I'm just leaving them as they are. Here you can use oval. It's an oval. And duplicate. These are my favorite parts because we're drawing plants now. Here, like, you can draw it one by one. You can also duplicate them. I wanna draw one by one. But one thing you need to do, because so now I'm not trying to align the corners of it, because this middle line in between, which is I guess a branch, it will cover the most of it. Okay. So yeah, make sure it's going through it all. Okay. Now we need to make it thicker. Just a little bit. And I want to make it rounded corner. Round cap. Oh. Okay, I accidentally turn on the blur. We don't need the blur. So yeah, actually all of them I want them to be thicker. So you can just multi-select and make it thicker. This one. Right. So once you draw it, you can just duplicate it to the other side. And it's, oh, sorry. Okay. I'm actually gonna group it because it's easy to move it around, so then I don't have to select them each time I want to move it. Oh, okay. Guess what? The sketch is not locked and it's happening as before. Okay. Yes, I just locked it and I will move this to the other side. And there is another thing you can do here. You can mirror it. Let's mirror it and place it. So here I noticed, because it was under the sketch and I didn't see it, now I noticed that it's actually thinner than I wanted it to be. Oh, we have someone Turkish in the chat. He says good evening and he's wishing best. Thank you. Okay. Let's make this thicker too. Just a little bit. You can play with the width. You can even use brush. I didn't use brush yet, but if you wanna know more about it, watch art beginner course. And yeah. I know. It didn't. Right. So with these little circles, you can just, like, it's a bubble basically coming from the pot. I'm just gonna use oval tool and I'm gonna duplicate them around and then just resize them. It kind of looks random, but at the same time I try to make it a little bit like smaller towards the air. So it starts bigger and then it gets smaller. And then the smallest is here. Okay. Then you can just duplicate them on the other side. Keep resizing. Bigger. I want them to be a different size because it again makes the illustration more dynamic. You just play around basically. Oops. Yep. Okay, the last ones. Let's just finish this. Oh no. And we're done with the outlines. Now I wanna give it a color. And basically I will make another layer, I will place it underneath. And I'm just gonna color them. Some of them you can just turn, select them and turn the fill on, like the bubbles, for example. It's just multi-select. Okay. Oops. Okay, again, I unselected. Just yeah, I want them to be this bright turquoise blue. Do the same. Great. So I use the same color for the pot. And in this case, I'm just gonna use fill. And the only thing you need to do is just draw it behind it. It doesn't have to follow it exactly, because again, we're trying to give this a sketch feeling. So there can be some, yeah, not this much, this is too much, but there can be some gaps basically. See, like on the sides. Okay. And this little skull here, you can also use this turn fill on. And I made it pink. And these two ovals that we made, so I want them to be transparent, and I'm just gonna make them blue so it kind of looks like they are. And this one too. Okay, it needs to be on top. Perfect. One last thing, which is the actual important part of the potion. So for this, I picked yellow. Maybe you notice that there is just there's certain color palette that we decided on, and I used the same yellow for the lemon, for example, and now I'm gonna use it here. It doesn't have to follow it perfectly again. Just make it look okay. But this needs to be on the bottom layer here, and also underneath the pot. Right. So yeah, with that we actually finished. Wow, and it's been an hour. It's great. And so there is one more question. I will answer that before finishing. I'd love to hear some tips about choosing the right color. So basically, you can go for monocolors. You can go for different shades of colors, but there is also this contrast color that you can, the contrary color on the color wheel. You can pick one color and then go to the other side of the wheel and then find the opposite color of that color. So basically, when you bring them together, you create this dynamic illustration, and that's what I go for. And these are my actual favorite colors that I like to combine. I really like this blue and yellow contrast together, and pink or red, for example. It's a nice addition to those colors. But yeah, you can play around a lot. And yeah, so basically we finished everything we need to do, and again, all of these are little scenes from the course that we've been working on. And we're gonna put the link in the description. You can just click on it and can go and discover everything, all the tools that you wanna learn. Yeah. that's all for today. I'm so happy that you follow along and you drew with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you guys in the next live session, which is gonna be with the German vocal. Bye bye.